Welcome back to the cryptoworld channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and right now, Bitcoin is just hours away from confirming the highest weekly candle close in Bitcoin's entire price history, while in the short term, Bitcoin is now breaking critical short-term resistance, but there's important areas of liquidity that we need to pay attention to, so I'll be talking about that in just a moment, alongside Ethereum, which is now running into critical short-term resistance within the bullish trend, which I'll talk about later in the video, so definitely watch to the end. First of all, taking a look at some Bitcoin news today, and once again, we don't have the Bitcoin ETF news today because the Bitcoin ETFs are not trading over the weekend. But from today, there's only about 40 days to go approximately until the Bitcoin halving, which is an extremely fundamentally bullish event for the price of Bitcoin and only happens once every 4 years. And essentially, the Bitcoin halving reduces the amount of new Bitcoin coming into circulation, so it reduces the amount of Bitcoin that the Bitcoin miners can actually sell on the market. Because right now and every day up until this next Bitcoin halving in just 40 days from now, on average about 900 Bitcoin is being mined per day, which means the Bitcoin miners can dump 900 Bitcoin every single day on the market. But after this next Bitcoin halving in just 40 days from now, that amount will be halved. So only 450 Bitcoin will be mined per day, which means the Bitcoin miners, instead of being able to dump 900 Bitcoin per day, they can only dump 450 Bitcoin per day. And so obviously, when you're significantly decreasing selling pressure for Bitcoin, that is bullish because that means there's less Bitcoin to go around. And of course, with the Bitcoin ETFs buying a lot of Bitcoin, that is going to push the Bitcoin price a lot higher. And obviously, that's exactly what we've been seeing recently, even before the actual halving takes place, because right now there's just a massive amount of demand for Bitcoin, especially through the spot Bitcoin ETFs. And as of right now, here on the weekly Bitcoin chart, we've broken through all of these Fibonacci levels of resistance, and right now we're basically trading slightly above the old all-time high, which was sitting at around 69,000. And as of right now, at the time of recording this video, there's only around half a day to go, so only a matter of hours to go before this weekly candle close confirms. And as of right now, it's looking likely that this weekly candle close will be the highest weekly candle close in Bitcoin's entire price history. Because as of right now, before this weekly candle actually closes, the last highest weekly candle close in Bitcoin's entire price history was back here in November 2021, and that highest weekly candle close was at around 65,500. And so basically, if the Bitcoin price remains above 65,500 over the next half a day or so, then that essentially means we will confirm the highest weekly candle close in Bitcoin's entire price history. And so obviously right now we're simply seeing bullish signal after bullish signal, and fundamentally speaking, we're seeing a lot of demand coming in through the ETFs buying up a lot of Bitcoin. And once again, very soon with the Bitcoin halving just next month, we're going to see even less Bitcoin available to actually buy, which is good news for the price. When we're increasing scarcity for Bitcoin, that is bullish for the price. And on top of that, if we're looking at the USDT market cap, right now this is still increasing, which means USDT or Tether is basically printing more and more USDT because there's more demand for USDT. And as you can clearly see on this chart right here, when the USDT market cap increases, that is very correlated with the Bitcoin price. Normally, if we see USDT being printed, that increases the Bitcoin price alongside it. And that's for the simple reason that when there's more USDT or more stablecoins in general in the crypto market, there's more liquidity, basically sidelined capital in the crypto market ready to go, ready to deploy into Bitcoin and other crypto assets. And so, for example, instead of this money actually sitting in bank accounts, for example, that are kind of outside of the crypto ecosystem, instead of that, that money is coming into the crypto ecosystem and currently sitting in stablecoins. A lot of that money is sitting in stablecoins right now, which basically means that's a lot of potential buying pressure, because obviously if there's more stablecoins on exchanges, for example, that means more people can actually buy Bitcoin with more money. And on top of that, if there's a lot of sidelined money right now, which there clearly is, if the USDT market cap is sitting above 100 billion, that means there's 100 billion USDT just sitting there on the sidelines. That essentially means perhaps we might not see any significant pullbacks, because even just a minor pullback could quickly be bought up with a massive amount of sidelined capital right now. And so that is something else to keep in mind moving forward. Once again, there's a lot of sidelines capital ready to buy Bitcoin the moment we see any sort of pullback. And on top of that, if we're looking at the DXY, also known as the US dollar index, this is still dumping to the downside, which is yet another bullish signal for Bitcoin and really the overall crypto market. And so ultimately, it's very hard to be bearish at the moment. We simply have too many bullish things going on, with the Bitcoin halving happening once every 4 years and coming up in just 40 days from now. And we also have record demand coming into Bitcoin through the ETFs and multiple other bullish signals here on the chart. And now if we're zooming into the shorter term, looking at just the 8-hour time frame, obviously over the last 1 day, we've now invalidated this bearish divergence by seeing a new higher high in the price of Bitcoin in the 8-hour candle closes. But once again, as I've been saying over the last few days, especially when this bearish divergence actually confirmed, I said this is most likely going to play out in just some choppy sideways price action just in the imminent short term here, before eventually continuing the larger bullish trend higher later on, because that's basically what we saw the last time we saw a bearish divergence here on the 8-hour time frame. And so obviously just over the last couple of days, that's pretty much exactly what we saw, mostly choppy sideways price action in the short term with a quick scandal candle down and up again. And once again, right now, this bearish divergence is now invalid. But with that being said, it's possible we could form a new bearish divergence because once again, the price has just formed a new higher high in the 8-hour candle closes. But with that being said, if we're looking at the RSI, we're still currently seeing lower highs in the 8-hour Bitcoin RSI. But it is important to understand that as of right now, that potential bearish divergence here in the short term is not yet confirmed because we have not yet actually confirmed the lower high in place here in the 8-hour Bitcoin RSI. Because ideally for that, we need to see at least one, but ideally 2 red 8-hour candle closes confirming in order to actually cement some sort of lower high in place in the RSI, just like that. Because otherwise, if we do not do that, and instead the price just continues further to the upside, that can drag the RSI further to the upside. And if the RSI breaks out into higher highs above this previous high, then there's no bearish divergence at all. But once again, even if this actually confirms, this is only just a short-term signal. And remember, I would not necessarily be expecting a massive pullback, even if this confirms. Because ultimately, we have to look at everything, not just one single pattern and indicator. And right now, we're simply seeing far too much demand for Bitcoin and too many other bullish signals going on for just one signal to cause a major crash to the downside. And so just keep that in mind, even if it does confirm, which once again, this new bearish divergence is not yet confirmed at all, but even if it does confirm, it's most likely going to play out in just some choppy sideways price action, basically a sideways consolidation before heading higher later on. And if we're taking a look at the 4-hour Bitcoin chart right now, as of recording this video, the price of Bitcoin is now breaking out and in fact sitting at around $70,000 at the time of recording this video. And so far, we've currently seen 2 4-hour candle closes confirm above that 69K level of resistance, which is a bullish confirmation signal confirming the short-term breakout to the upside. And as I said in my last video, I said very soon expect a breakout above 69,000, which we're now seeing as expected. And like I also said in my last video, we have a possible price target to pay attention to, just a short-term price target here sitting at around 73,000. And so basically, very soon we could end up seeing the price of Bitcoin head up towards around 73,000, especially on Monday when the US stock market opens back up again and those Bitcoin ETFs begin trading again. If we're seeing those significant net inflows into the spot Bitcoin ETFs, then of course that will also help to pump the price of Bitcoin further to the upside towards at least this short-term price target. But basically, once we start getting closer towards this price target, I'll start looking at larger price targets, which I'll also share here on the channel. So make sure you subscribe to this channel with notifications turned on so that you don't miss out on these important update videos. And now in the worst case scenario here, what if we actually invalidate this short-term breakout to the upside? Well, in that case, that would require the price of Bitcoin confirming candle closes back below around 69,000. And in that case, we also now have this area of support, which was previous resistance, sitting in between around 67,500 to 68,500. So I would expect a lot of buyers in that area. But let's just say if we broke back below 67,500, we also have a lot more buyers for the price of Bitcoin right down here at around 65 to 66,000. And also right now, the price of Bitcoin just on the 2-hour Bitcoin chart is clearly trending in the bullish direction, forming higher lows and higher highs. And right now, this ascending line of support is sitting at approximately 68.4K, and this ascending line of resistance is sitting at approximately 71,000. And so keep that in mind. If we see a short-term pullback, we could bounce at around 68,500, give or take. But if we continue to pump here in the short term, we could find a little bit of resistance at around 71,000. And if you want to trade these moves in the price of Bitcoin or any other crypto, then personally, I take trades just like that over on Bybit. So I'll make sure to leave a link to Bybit in the description down below and in the pinned comment. And if you use that link down below this video to make a Bybit account and deposit on that account, you can get up to a $30,000 deposit bonus, but only if you use that link down below this video. And also, if you use that link down below this video, it'll take you to this page right here where you can get an exclusive 200 USDT airdrop position. And so if you're trading crypto anyway, you might as well check this out. Once again, first link down below this video if you want to claim that free airdrop position and also get an extra deposit bonus over at Bybit. But for whatever reason, if you cannot access Bybit or if you cannot KYC on Bybit, there is also Bitflex, which is another crypto exchange similar to Bybit, but you don't need KYC for Bitflex. And so I will also make sure to leave a link to Bitflex in the description down below and in the pinned comment. And if you use that link down below to Bitflex, you can also get an extra exclusive bonus. And so once again, if you're trading crypto anyway, or if you're preparing to take the next trade, you might as well get set up or ready to go on one of those exchanges using those links down below this video if you want to get those extra bonuses. But anyway, taking a quick look at the Bitcoin liquidation heat map, and right now we have a lot of new liquidity starting to show up at around 70.2K to around 70.3K. And so very soon, I would expect the price of Bitcoin to hit that higher area of liquidity because that's where there's most liquidity right now in the short term. Once again, going up towards around 70.3K. And in terms of downside liquidity, we only have a small amount of liquidity at around 69,000 and a little bit more liquidity at around 68,500. But ultimately, that downside liquidity, at least as of right now, is not as much as what we've got to the upside right here at around 70.2 to 70.3K. And in case you're new to all of this, basically the price of Bitcoin usually goes towards where there's most liquidity, as we've seen just recently here in the short term. But anyway, now getting into the Ethereum part of this video, this is on the weekly ETH to US dollar chart. And right now, we're clearly still trending to the upside in terms of the larger bullish trend here on the weekly time frame, as I've been saying for a long time now on the channel. And also, just like Bitcoin, there's only around half a day to go until this weekly candle close confirms for Ethereum. And right now, it's looking very likely that we're going to see this weekly candle close actually confirm well above this previous area of resistance, which will technically officially confirm the breakout. And once again, that previous area of resistance was sitting in between around 3.4K to 3.5K. But as I've already been saying for a while now on the channel, of course, once we start seeing that breakout above 3.5K, which we've already seen over the last few days, then ultimately the next important level of resistance for the price of ETH on the weekly time frame is simply the old all-time high, which is sitting at around 4.8 to 4.9K. And so honestly, pretty soon, perhaps in the coming weeks, we could end up seeing the price of ETH trading closer towards $5,000. And even in the worst case scenario, let's just say if we see a pullback, I would now expect significant support at this previous area of resistance, once again sitting in between around 3.4 to 3.5K, now acting as support. And if we're taking a look at the daily ETH to US dollar chart, obviously right now on the daily time frame, we're still clearly trending in the bullish direction, forming higher lows and higher highs, and also seeing consistent bullish momentum here in the daily Ethereum MACD. And so like I've been saying basically every day here on the channel since all the way back down here, right now my trading strategy is to simply long the price of ETH. I am long on Ethereum, and once again I let you all know about that long position as soon as I entered that trade all the way back down here. So obviously if you followed me on that trade which I shared here on the channel, right now you would be doing very well. And right now I don't have an exact take profit for that trade, I'm just leaving it open. And essentially what I'm doing to protect any downside risk is basically moving my stop loss further into profits, so that in the worst case scenario, let's just say if we saw a crash for some reason, then that would just trigger my stop loss and exit me out of the trade automatically in massive profits. And so by doing that, I am not capping my upside potential because the price is just continuing to pump, which means I'm continuing to profit from all of this bullish price action. But at the same time, while I'm not capping my upside potential, I'm actually capping my downside risk. And once again, if you want to take trades just like that to maximize your profits in crypto, then personally, I actually took that trade right there over on Bybit. Once again, link down below this video if you want to get those extra bonuses and maximize your profits in crypto like what I'm doing right now. And if we're taking a look at the short term, right now on the 4-hour time frame, the price of ETH is running into short-term resistance, sitting in between around 39.50 going up towards around 4,000. And so obviously $4,000 is important resistance for the price of ETH. It's obviously an important psychological level because usually around those big round numbers, we have a lot of sell orders because a lot of people just like to put their sell orders at those big round numbers, just typing in $4,000 to sell a bunch of ETH, for example. And so essentially that creates a sell wall in the order books, which is basically the definition of resistance anytime where there's a lot of sell orders at a particular price level. But ultimately, we're still trending in the bullish direction, forming higher lows and higher highs. And so if this bullish momentum continues and if all of this buying pressure continues, then it's only a matter of time before all of the buyers eventually eat through that sell wall, basically buy up all of those sell orders. And then eventually, once we crack through $4,000, we should see a major breakout to the upside. And just as a potential measured move for the price of ETH, if we actually see a breakout above around $4,000, then a possible short-term price target would be sitting at around 43.40. And so in that situation, if we see that confirmed breakout above $4,000, we're talking about a possible 8% move pretty quickly towards around 4.3k, give or take. But obviously right now, as of recording this video, we have not yet confirmed the breakout above 4,000, which means there's still the possibility that we could see a short-term rejection from that resistance before eventually breaking out later on. And in that case, we do have short-term support right here. Basically, a lot of buyers are sitting in this area right here, sitting in between around 37.50 going up towards around 3.8k. And if we're taking a quick look at the price of Solana on the weekly time frame, just like Bitcoin and Ethereum, we're also around half a day away from seeing this weekly candle close actually confirm. And for as long as this weekly candle close is sitting well above $140, so not $140.10, but ideally at least a few dollars above $140, then that can confirm the breakout above this important resistance, which is sitting in between 120 to 140. And once we officially confirm that breakout with a weekly candle close confirming well above 140, then that area of previous resistance should become new support. And also in that situation, once we confirm this breakout, the next important level of resistance for the price of Solana is the old all-time high at around 250 to 260. And obviously, just like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and a lot of the crypto market, right now the price of Solana is still trending in the bullish direction on the weekly time frame, forming significant higher lows and higher highs. And so despite what happens on smaller timeframes, ultimately when we're zooming out on larger timeframes, we're still trending in the bullish direction. And once again, if you want to maximize your profits in the market, check out those links down below this video to also get those extra bonuses, especially if you're trading crypto anyway. And if you want to actually know how to take trades in the price of any crypto using long positions or short positions, for example, then make sure to watch the video in the top left of your screen right now, because that video in the top left of your screen shows you how you can make a lot of money using long positions or short positions, no matter if the price is bullish or bearish. And the video in the bottom left shows you how you can easily profit from choppy sideways price action. But anyway, that is everything that I have to say for today. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.